Tonight, in this edition of the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television, the Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Ngannou-Djumesi, has dismissed allegations that his ministry spent 45 billion francs CFA just to construct a 9-kilometer road. We tell you more on that in this edition of the news. Also ahead, Douala residents in Douala 4, Cameroon's economic capital, have been without potable water for close to 1 year now. We take a look at the day-to-day difficulties of local inhabitants in this edition of the primetime newscast. Plus, journalists in Bamenda protest against what they called humiliation. We take you to the chief town of the northwest region of the country just in a moment. We shall be right back. Stay with us. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. We thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin right here in the nation's capital. As we announced a few seconds ago, the Minister of Public Works in Cameroon, Emmanuel Ngannou-Djumesi, has described as fake information circulating that his ministry actually offered a contract worth 45 billion francs CFA for the construction of a 9-kilometer road during a press conference granted in the nation's capital. He indicated that the project covers a distance of 25 kilometers and not 9 kilometers as indicated by the press. Let's have the details with Mfomi Armstrong Sander.
As if planned, media men and women present at the press conference were determined to get concrete and convincing answers from the Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Ngannou-Djumesi, on why a 9-kilometer road should be tarred for 45 billion francs CFA, a project in the city of Douala that has provoked widespread criticism from Cameroonians of all walks of life.
16 propositions financières avaient été faites.
The minister said 16 financial offers were proposed to bidders when the call to tender was made, ranging from more than 26 billion francs CFA to above 43 billion francs CFA, all tax included. After making this precision, Minister Emmanuel Ngannou-Djumesi refuted allegations that the much talked about road project was a 9-kilometer stretch.
Il ne s'agit pas de 9 km de route.
He said the project consists of a 2-dual carriageway with 3 openings each, plus 2 existing single carriageways, giving a total of 25 kilometers. Minister Emmanuel Ngannou-Djumesi qualified as lies contrary information circulated concerning the project, which to him do not tie with the reality. The amount offered to this project, according to him, is based on corresponding technical studies. Razel, the minister said, proved unbeatable to complete this project linking the Japoma Sports Complex, latest the 21st of March 2019. The government is determined to give Douala that image worthy of an economic capital. The second bridge over River Vori, construction works on the east and west entryway into the city of Douala are some of the major projects to prove that vision.
We now take a look at the difficulties of inhabitants of Douala neighborhood in the Douala 4 subdivision. They have been without potable water for about 8 months now. A road construction company has been blamed for destroying the pipes that has so far left the neighborhood here in the city of Douala without water. Smanjikan Gabriel tells us more in the following report.
It is a common exercise that every inhabitant of this neighborhood must go through. We are in the Dikolo quarter, located in the Douala 4 municipality. 8 months counting, but no drinking water.
It has been 8 months now without drinking water. Children are drinking well. At times, you like to drink the rainwater. We are pleading the council and the government to try and see whether they will help us and put back the water in our quarter. We are really suffering. We can live here to Sanchokes to buy water. We will not even see the water, even though I have to go right to Levang to go and buy water there. We are really suffering in this quarter.
At first there was water, but when they came there, they want to construct these roads. They destroy all the pipes. We have stayed for about 6 to 7 months without pipe-borne water.
The only source of water available for them is well. Reasons why the exercise is a must for everyone in the zone. Children are the most affected.
Children, all of them here, they are suffering. Some they are having diarrhea, some they are having fever. We don't even know the source of their illnesses because there is no drinking water.
At times, the source from where the water is gotten from is questionable. With the upcoming school year approaching, the cry of every child who usually go in search of water at distant places is for the return of potable drinking water.
Need the country to help us and bring back water here because since 8 or 7 months now we don't have water and very soon school will be starting back. Children from here are covering long distance to carry water and we are really suffering.
We don't have water, we cover a long distance to have water. Sometimes there's not even water to drink. Sometimes we don't even have water. So we, the people of Douala, need to the government for water.
Even elderly persons are in need of the precious liquid.
Oh, I don't drink water, no, I want to come up with this.
The opening of their roads has been blamed for the lack of water in the Douala neighborhood. Inhabitants say the road construction company destroyed pipes, promising to repair them, but 8 months gone, neither the pipes or roads are set.
They destroyed the road. They said they want to fix the road, but look at the state of the road. It's too bad. They came, instead of doing things that it will help us, they instead destroy everything. The little that we had, they destroy it.
With the school year at the corner and several people already affected with the absence of pipe-borne water in the Douala neighborhood, top authorities are being requested to sort for a lasting solution.
In the northwest region of Cameroon, a workshop to train journalists in that part of the country on the drafting of back-to-school messages was briefly interrupted in the chief town of the northwest region today. The funds destined to facilitate the workshop, which was reportedly delayed at the governor's office, was the bone of contention. The meeting, which started Thursday to end today, Friday, was suddenly aborted by the regional delegate for communication. Journalists acted in solidarity with the delegate and staged a protest over what they called non-respect of their rights, disrespect and humiliation of the delegate of communication in the northwest region of Cameroon and journalists by some collaborators of the governor's office in the northwest region of Cameroon. The march to the governor's office, where they were told that the situation is actually under control. That is one of the media men attending the press conference with the workshop that was taking place in Bamenda today. He's publisher of the Independent Observer. He was speaking to Stella. Let's hear him in the following excerpt.
This shows exactly the low esteem in which journalists are held. Because this workshop had two important issues: school resumption and the elections. The two main issues that are affecting this country. The crisis in the northwest and southwest is as a result of the fact that schools are not going on, and then preparation for elections are not going not smooth. And it is only the press that can soften the grounds. We shape opinions. We are the ones that speak to the people. The fourth estate. We are the fourth estate. But you have people, appointees, they're pushing around people who are older than themselves, who have certainly more experience. Publishers of newspapers, managers of radio stations. The humiliation of our delegate. And they come and
And at the end of the workshop that began in Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon yesterday, the participants, who are journalists, were expected to draft and produce spots in English and Pidgin on back to school and the 2018 presidential election in Cameroon. In the following excerpt, some of the journalists are going to be telling us how enriching the seminar has been thus far. Let's hear them in the following excerpt. They were speaking to Stella.
The seminar has quite been enriching, and from there I have been empowered with knowledge on how to better report during the election period, which is coming up in October. As a journalist, I now understand better that I'm supposed to report and be very constructive in my words such that they will not fuel to the already burning crisis that we have in the country.
After the workshop on the sensitization and mobilization for school reopening, and also for mobilization of voters during the elections program this year, from what I gathered from the facilitators, I actually learned a good number of things, the skills on how to manage the situations on the ground. We're talking about what to say as far as school opening is concerned, and as far as elections are concerned, exactly what we're going to say from the facilitators that came. They are big brains in journalism. We here talking about Su Romanos, FM Bandagogomo. In fact, the material dish out. In fact, I've learned a good number of things on how to go back and spice the programs in my own area.
The Social Democratic Front Party has said that it is so far mapping ways or plans to unseat the current regime, but it must be done in strict respect of the law in force. Campaigns to that effect would begin when it is legally supposed to be. The Social Democratic Front presidential candidate, Honorable Joshua Osei, was speaking during the party's extraordinary meeting in Yaoundé that was yesterday. Honorable Joshua Osei said that Cameroonians, whom according to him are tired of underdevelopment and poor living conditions, want change in the current system of things in Cameroon. Let's hear him in the following excerpt. He was speaking to our reporters in Yaoundé.
Well, we're respectful of the law. The law disposes that campaigns start 15 days before the election. We have in front of us an incumbent, and that is our challenge, to get rid of that incumbent. And I don't think we will be running after I'll call it a competition, but rather positioning ourselves to be able to challenge that incumbent, and we're very comfortable where we stand right now to get to that. Well, first of all, I would like to mention here that there are things that are priceless, and the suffering of the Cameroonian people cannot be quantified in monetary terms. It's not a question of financial wealth. It's not a question of who has embezzled more money or who has embezzled money and who hasn't. I think this election is a referendum for the liberation of the Cameroonian people. The Cameroonian people that I have met, in contrary to what you just said, I have been from Kusiri right down to Yokaduma. The people I've met on the field, they want an end to this suffering. They want an end to this situation. They want to bring back, Mr. Biya, when he became president, most of the voters were not yet born. But there is one thing they understand, and you learn in school, is that they gave him over a country with peace, work, and fatherland. We no longer have peace. We no longer have work. We no longer have our fatherland. And so these people are sending me out there to try to reclaim all of that. So it's not about
in the west region of Cameroon are still mourning the death of their patriarch, Kaji de Fotso, which to them is a big loss to the entire community. They see him as a great person who brightened the face of the municipality. Others have so far described him as a philanthropist, an icon whose legacies would forever be remembered. Details with Innocent Aze.
Almost everyone in Bana, in the Opankam division of the west region of Cameroon, mourns the death of the man they recognize as a father, notable, and a patriarch. More than a name, Kaji de Foso was a symbol in Bana, where he served as mayor.
C'est d'abord notre papa et vraiment.
He is first of all our father. We don't know where to start. His death is a big loss.
Vraiment, on est dépassé.
En plus,
he has done a lot for his people and his community while mayor. If time wasn't against Patriarch Kaji de Foso, he would have constructed Bana incredibly. He has done a lot in Cameroon.
Nous allons souffrir du départ de Kaji pendant longtemps.
Kaji de Foso was also a philanthropist. His goodness and kindness to all persons in Bana will be missed.
On a beaucoup bénéficié de lui.
We have benefited much from him. Each year, he grants gifts to children. I don't know where I can start recounting his goodness.
Faire un témoignage à son nom, c'est très long.
J'ai accueilli la mort de Papa Kaji avec.
I received the death of Papa Kaji with a broken heart.
Pendant 14 ans.
He assisted me earn a living and enabled me recover from an accident when I was 14.
Je sais comment dire. Mon travail a fait.
Apart from employing me, he considered me as his friend. Today I now live in a house, married with children.
J'ai eu des enfants.
Fuala Tula Kaji de Foso leaves behind a great legacy, as explained by his colleagues of the Bana Council. To us, a great tree has fallen, a library has been consumed.
C'est une icône.
We of the Bana Council will never forget him, because what he has left behind is everlasting. Under him and through the Bana Council, the face of this municipality has brightened. We will continue working towards the direction he had chosen at all costs and achieve what he saw ahead.
Nous allons continuer ce qu'il a commencé avec les moyens qui seront les nôtres.
The entrepreneur, football lover and promoter, Patrick Kaji de Foso Joseph, dies at the age of 95 in a hospital in Johannesburg, South Africa, after a protracted illness.
We now take a look at the situation of refugee children as far as back to school 2018-2019 in Cameroon is concerned. Those that are living in Cameroon that are actually refugees preparing to send their children to school, for parents as far as back to school is concerned, and putting food on the table is an uphill task for several parents who were forced out of their countries as their countries were hit by violence, particularly possibly in the Central African Republic and in neighboring Nigeria. Let's have the details with Babla Jonathan.
They are refugees from several African nations striving hard for survival on the Cameroonian soil. The pressure of hardship is rising as the next school year draws near.
On débrouille seulement avec mon mari.
Pourquoi?
Je vends des arachides.
Zenaba is a seamstress and trader. Her husband is also a trader. They are managing to put food on the table and prepare for back to school.
Tant que tu n'es pas dans ton pays là, ce que tu voulais là, tu ne peux pas avoir ça et on dit merci. On sent un peu bien.
She has been in Cameroon for 13 years.
Tous ces cadeaux, ce grand cœur que la maman a eu de nous offrir.
The refugee children and their parents say aid from Goodwill Cameroonians and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees is like manna from heaven.
Ce qui va m'aider à plus avancer.
On a choisi une journée de rentrée scolaire pour assister les parents.
A show of hospitality.
Pour leur dire, bon, vous êtes, you're welcome in Cameroon. You're part of us.
Hospitality in action to improve the difficult living conditions of refugees in Cameroon.
And that brings us to the end of this first segment of the news. Up next is Talking Points. Stay with us. We are 2 weeks to school resumption, but parents have still not been able to buy textbooks due to their unavailability. Tonight, our guest is going to be looking at the issue and other challenges ahead of school resumption for the year 2018-2019. She is headmistress at the Sunrise Bilingual Nursery and Primary School here in the country's economic capital, Douala. Madam Kaela NGOZI, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Talking Point.
Good evening, madam.
Now, books were supposed to be ready by now or between the 1st to the 15th of August 2018. That is not the case. Another deadline has been given by publishers in the country. That's the 27th of August. That would be 1 week to school resumption. Parents are worried, as well as school administrators like you. How is your institution affected as far as the situation is concerned?
Yes, the situation about books or unavailability of books have really depressed the parents, because whenever, according to the book list that has been given, we gave the book list to some of our parents and they complained that the books are not there. Most of them have come back to the school to harass me as if I'm the one that published the book list. And going to those libraries, they say that the government have placed some kind of amount for the books to be sold, which the publishers do not comply with. And that's why there's this kind of argument between them or something, I don't know. And for this academic year, I don't know how it's going to be, but I believe that a teacher is always a teacher. If you are supposed to teach Form 1, Class 1, or whatever level of class you're supposed to teach, since you've been in the system, you already have your scheme of work or the national syllabus that will help you or guide you. Whatever textbook you have, you should make use of it, and don't just say that the government has disappointed us by not providing books, by not doing this, and then you fold your arms. Those children will be given to us for us to be trained. We should not fold our arms because the books are not there.
So with or without the books, the teachers can still
With or without the books, the syllabus have been given. The schemes of works are there. So you make your research with what you have already or what you had been using in the former years.
Are you saying that the teachers can cope without textbooks?
I'm saying that
possibly just be an
the
alternative measure.
It's an alternative measure.
Okay.
It's just for the teachers not to fold their arms, because the parents are complaining that the books are not there. Even the books are not there. We believe that our parents in those days, they went to school without books. And some of those learned people that you see in the government offices, they went to school, they were educated, even without books. So they should make use of what they had, using the national syllabus and then the schemes of work, so that this academic year will run smoothly.
If the textbooks are there, if teachers and publishers, school heads like you are worried, it means that there is a problem. The textbooks are very, very pivotal in the academic milieu. Tell us how important textbooks are. That is a very important aspect you highlighted there in the school milieu in Cameroon today.
Textbooks are very important for the teachers to use, because I believe that if the scheme of work is there, the teachers will refer to the textbooks to be able to work. And then the parents at home use those textbooks to follow up their children. And when the textbooks are not there, the parents cannot follow up. But I want to plead with my teachers around, whatever it is that is happening in the country today, let's not just fold our arms and just say that the government has disappointed us or the publishers are not giving us the books or whatever. Let's try our possible best to give those children what they need, because some of these children that are in schools, they are our children too. You cannot just say because your child is no more in the primary education, therefore you leave those children to just go like that. You do your best as a teacher, and I believe that these teachers are training future ministers, future presidents, and future doctors. So let's try our best to do whatever is possible to put in mind that these children should be educated.
You talked about the need for the teachers to do their research.
Yes.
The reason why the digital world is equally there to help the teachers.
Yes.
You equally cited or noted that there was a time that we went to school without even using textbooks.
Yes.
Now, the government has to do something about this situation, even the publishers. If you were to give recommendations as far as this problem is concerned, because it became more serious, as I can put it this year, particularly, if you were to give some recommendations, what would that be as an educationist?
I would like the government to please work hand in hand with those publishers, because I don't know what their complaint is. It might be an economic distress, as the country is right now. in Anglophone stations, there are no schools going on, and the need for these books to come out might be as a result of financial inability of these publishers. So I will need the government to please subsidize or do something for them, assist them in one way or the other, and make sure that these books are available latest next week for these parents to buy, and then so that the academic or whatever academic will not be hampered because of what is happening in the country or because of lack of books.
Apart from that, there is an innovation in the secondary education sector put in place by the Minister of Secondary Education, Dr. Nalova Lyonga, that has equally indicated that students can now pay their school fees through a microfinance institution or through some mobile telephone companies that I won't be citing here. Do you think that that is a positive innovation in schools in Cameroon?
I want to say kudos to the government, because most African countries, most Western countries have these policies in place. There is this cashless policy going on all around the world. It's a bid to make sure that there's less of armed robbery, corruption, and whatsoever, like unemployment and the stuff like. So I want to say kudos to the government. And then please, there are some of these microfinance companies that are not yet in the urban areas, rural areas,
course,
sorry, please. There are some of these microfinances that are not there. I need the government to please go into those areas and make sure that these things are put in place, because they cannot just up in the air and say the parents should just pay school fees in the banks when the banks are not there for the parents to pay the school fees. Where would they pay it?
So it's going to be difficult for parents in some interior localities
in some interior localities where there are no such microfinance companies, and then network failure, whatever. You know that recently we have been having network problems with some of these telecommunications. It might be a hindrance.
Thank you so much.
Some of these things.
Madam Kaela NGOZI, for joining us tonight on Talking Point. We hope to have you some other time again. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
That is the headmistress of the Bilingual Nursery and Primary School, Sunrise Bilingual Nursery and Primary School here in the economic capital, Douala, joining us tonight on Talking Point. Viewers, we thank you so much once again for joining us. Wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs. Until we meet again, goodbye.